voted for my own job law.
Militarism over policing.
Like a damn fool. And I ain't ashamed to admit
currently getting my PhD in Jersey, but we drove.
I won't do that again.
Because I vote for Trump, it's not what I vote for. He's doing all these wrong things.
Trump got elected, all our savings are gone. I had it in stocks. It's hopeless. There's no hope for this country. I want to move.
Watching these hands-off protests, which are great, awesome, any protest against Trump is great. But I have never seen this many middle-aged white men at protests that also care about the rights of marginalized people, ever in my life. And I'm not that old, but it's just like, I feel like this is just a huge sign of a major shift in American politics. These men are angry, and they're angry at Trump. And right now, I think it's focused solely on like this disillusionment of Trump. But as this administration keeps going, as the majority of Republicans keep emboldening him, they are done. They're going to be done with the Republican Party. You know, and these men are not people who, you know, are looking into third parties really, and they just want Trump and Republicans out of office. They want to punish them for how they fucked them over because they messed with their benefits. They messed with their healthcare. They messed with their jobs. They messed with middle-aged white men across the country. And that is what matters to them. So they're going to vote them the fuck out. And we've already seen this in the most recent special elections. Even if those elections didn't go to the Democratic candidate, there was a major shift across all of the elections towards Democrats in deep red areas.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Trending Pulse Worldwide. I'm Amy, and I'm so glad you're here. How are you all guys doing today? First of all, I truly appreciate each and every one of you for your continued support and for always tuning in to hear these important stories as they unfold. If you're new here, welcome to the family, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications because we dive into the real stories, raw trending, and unfiltered from across the globe. Now, let's get into today's topic, and trust me, it's a heavy one. So, on April 5th, something remarkable happened across the United States. A massive protest fueled not just by Democrats or left-leaning activists, but by former MAGA voters themselves. Yes, the very people who once stood proudly behind Trump are now rising up against him. And the message is clear: enough is enough. So, without any interruptions, I'm going to let the videos play and get to see what these people are saying about the whole situation. Then I'll be back and we can talk about it.
So everybody know that this weekend was the hands-off march protest. And most of y'all thought it was only Democrats out there that was protesting. But after further review, it was Republicans too. Some of them were so upset they went to go tweet how they felt. You got one MAGA person saying, "Stock market's going down, losing my retirement. I voted for you, and it was a big mistake." You got another one saying, "Thanks for fucking up everybody's retirement, fucking up our life savings, for ruining a fun weekend with basketball and etc. Some of us don't have the time to wait on recovery, and I voted for you. Fix it. Stop the victory lap and fix it." You got another one saying, "I'm starting to think maybe I shouldn't have voted for Trump last November. These tears are starting to get ridiculous now that you are affecting my retirement. I hope for your sake things get better quick. I voted for you 3 times, Mr. Trump. However, you decimated middle-class retirement funds with this trade war. I cannot support you any longer. You have crushed my ability to retire. I agree that things need to be negotiated and better deals need to be made, but we are paying." And that's only a few, but there are several more. So if you thought it was only Democrats that was out there protesting at the hands-off protest this past weekend, then you was really mistaken. But as I always say, this is what y'all voted for.
I'm here to protest what has been going on for the Latino community for a long time. Who wants to see their family getting taken away?
One of my favorite things from the protest today was how many people over the age of 60 were at the protests. People with their walkers, in their wheelchairs, showing up in solidarity to bring these motherfuckers down.
I don't have many days like this, but today I am proud to be an American. I am so proud of everyone in New Orleans who came out to protest today. There were thousands of people there. I am so proud, and I'm so proud of us. I can't even talk. To everyone who spoke at the protest, it was lovely. It was beautiful. I saw so many amazing creative signs. I'm just so proud of us.
A woman in West Virginia who was one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters now regrets her vote for Trump because he fired her from the federal government. Just take a look at the clip.
The flag, I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie. I cried. It's scary, you know, it's a really scary thing. And I was embarrassed.
Well, yesterday's protest certainly seemed to have had an effect because MAGA is in full meltdown mode. I usually get a lot of MAGA people in my comment section, but yesterday on my video about attending the April 5th protest in Indianapolis, there were more than normal saying, oh, so cute. When you wake up tomorrow, Trump will still be president. What are you exactly protesting? I bet nobody knows there. If you don't understand what these protests are about, you haven't been paying attention. Your head has been buried in the sand because you're afraid to admit that you were wrong in selecting Donald Trump as your president. And you're about to find out in a serious way because you effed around and now prices are going to skyrocket because of these tariffs. You're going to be losing your benefits. And as soon as it starts to affect you, that's when all these people start waking up and saying, well, I didn't know they were going to take my job. I didn't know they were going to take my SNAP benefits. I didn't know they were going to take my Medicaid, but it is working. This is what we need to do. The idea of the protest, we're not that all of a sudden we're going to wake up and Donald Trump is like, yeah, I guess people are mad at me. I'm going to step down. It's showing that the American people and the American spirit is still alive and well. It's showing that we're not just going to obey in advance and roll over and let this administration walk all over us. It shows us that the heartbeat of democracy is still alive and breathing, that we the people are still present and we are not just disappearing into the night. We are loud and we are proud and we're going to continue to stand up to this administration, to Elon Musk, to Donald Trump, to J.D. Vance and anybody else who wants to do their crazy, backwards, pull us into the past agenda. That is the purpose of these protests. There were 100,000 people that showed up in Washington, D.C. yesterday, and I don't believe anybody went into the Capitol. I don't believe any police officers were beaten to death. And what it's showing is to MAGA that we can organize, we can come together, that there is a huge resistance. They want to say, oh, well, the majority of the people. No, it's the majority of the people that voted. And it was a very, very slim amount of people that selected Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. So don't act like this is some mandate. He does not have the ability to do half of what he's trying to do.
Wow, this was amazing. The April 5th protest wasn't just symbolic, it was historic. Yes, we saw MAGA fans show up in ways we never expected, openly expressing their regret and frustration, and that alone was powerful. But what really stood out was the sheer size of the protest. This wasn't a small group in one city, it was massive. People came out in large numbers from all walks of life across race, class, and political line. And even though the black people were sitting this one out, they were supporting it from home, which was really amazing. And this whole protest wasn't just about MAGA voters switching side. It was about everyday Americans tired of being ignored, standing together to demand something better. And when you see that kind of unity, that kind of turnout, it tells you that something deeper is happening and people are no longer sitting quietly. They are waking up. They are fed up with policies that aren't working, leaders who don't listen, and system that leaves them behind. And this protest just goes to show that when policies start hurting these very people who voted for them, the truth becomes impossible to ignore, and people are losing their jobs, their trust, and their patience. And what we saw on April 5th was a direct response to that betrayal. And that means that unity is still possible and that people can change their minds when they're faced with the reality of what's happening around them. So, what do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your thoughts. And guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more trending stories. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.